It is directly which is there in your textbook, the same equation they have asked here. The microorganism can be killed, okay, or how the drug can actually have an action. If you know the entire concept of photoelectric effect, this question is a very easy question. If there is no alpha hydrogen atom, then aldol condensation cannot happen. So for 7.1 grams, I'll require 0.2 grams. So which is in excess? Hydrogen is in excess here because there are 0.4 grams. Next we have 41st question. If you look into the question, you have benzaldehyde which is treated with acetaldehyde. In benzaldehyde, there is no alpha hydrogen atom, correct? There is no alpha hydrogen atom, and then you have acetaldehyde with dilute NaOH. What is happening here? It will be cross aldol condensation which is happening. Then it is heated, okay? So the answer is option B. It is directly which is there in your textbook, the same equation they have asked here, okay? So let me write the reaction for you. It is CH, here you have OH which is formed, you have CH2, CHO which is heated. You are going to get removal of water, OH and H takes place, okay? So you are going to get CH double bond CH2 CHO. So this is cinnamaldehyde, okay, and option B is the right answer. We'll see the next question. Which of the following has the lowest boiling point? You have an amine, you have an ether, then you have an carboxylic acid and alcohol. If you see option A, okay, that's an amine, C and D, all of the three can form hydrogen bond. They can form hydrogen bond. So they will have a higher boiling point, but only ether is the one which is having the lowest boiling point because it cannot form hydrogen bond, okay? So that is about the 42nd question. 43rd one, the carbonyl compound that does not undergo aldol condensation, which does not undergo aldol condensation. If there is no alpha hydrogen atom, then aldol condensation cannot happen. So first we'll just see the option: acetaldehyde, dichloroacetaldehyde, trichloroacetaldehyde and acetone. Acetone has alpha hydrogen atom, you know the structure. Acetaldehyde also has alpha hydrogen atom, so it should be option A or B. See, dichloroacetaldehyde is, you have 2 chlorine atoms and 1 hydrogen. So of course A is not the answer. Trichloroacetaldehyde, option B, where even the hydrogen atom of CH3 group, all the hydrogen atom of CH3 group is substituted by chlorine. So it's option B. Next you have next equation. First one, you have series of reaction here. It is nitrobenzene with bromine in the presence of ferric bromide. Okay, if there is an NO2 group and bromine has to get added up, of course it's a meta directing group, you're going to get bromine substitution in the meta position. Then it is heated with tin in the presence of concentrated HCl. So what happens here is reduction will take place and NO2 group gets converted to NH2 group, okay? Now NH2 group is there. The next step is, what is this? Diazotization. So when diazotization happens, you are going to get here, see bromine is untouched, it's there in the meta position as it is, you will get N2 plus Cl minus. When you are warming it with water, the presence of water, you are going to get OH group here, and liberation of nitrogen gas will happen to get the product in the option A. Okay, so that is the correct answer. I hope you have understood this. Next one, Hinsberg's reagent is. Hinsberg reagent, it is C6H5SO2Cl, benzene sulfonyl chloride. Direct factual question. Next one. Which one of the following vitamins is not stored in adipose tissue? If it is fat soluble, it will be stored. Which is not stored here? B6, D, E, A, D, E, K. A, D, E and K are all fat soluble and they'll be stored in adipose tissue. So it should be option A, which is B6. Next one. Hypothyroidism is caused by deficiency. Thyroidism can be caused by deficiency of thyroxine hormone, not anything else. Okay. Next one. C1 to C4 glycosidic bond is not found in. Okay. Here sucrose has C1 to C2 bond. Okay, C1 of glucose, alpha glucose and C2 of beta fructose. So this is the correct answer because they are asking where C1 and C4 bond is not found. It is in sucrose. Okay, but lactose, yes, C1 to C4 bond, starch and maltose both are made up of glucose only. So it is C1 to C4 glycosidic linkage is present. So answer is sucrose. Next question. Which of the following polymer has strongest intermolecular forces of attraction? So polymers, if you see, we have elastomers, we have fibers, thermosetting plastic and thermoplastics. Okay. If you remember what I had told in your classes, I had given you the order of intermolecular force of attraction. You can actually answer this question. Pteryline is nothing but dacron, which is a fiber. Correct? Then polythene is a thermoplastic, polystyrene is again a thermoplastic and neoprene is a elastomer. So of course, which has the strong intermolecular force of attraction? First, which we have is thermosetting plastics or thermosetting polymers, which we don't have here. After that it is fiber. So it is option A, which is having a strongest intermolecular force of attraction. Okay. Next question. Which of the following monomers can undergo condensation polymerization? For condensation polymerization and for addition polymerization, what's the criteria? For addition polymerization, there should be a double bond or unsaturation should be present. Correct? So here we'll see basis of that option: glycine, isoprene, propene, styrene. In and in. So of course they are all unsaturated, which undergoes addition polymerization. So which is the one which undergoes, which can undergo condensation polymerization? Glycine, and the glycine structure is CH2NH2COOH, which can undergo condensation polymerization. Next one, a food additive that can act as an antioxidant. Saccharin is an antioxidant? I don't think so. Sugar syrup and salt, of course they are not antioxidants. So it is used as a preservative, but they are asking us food additive which acts as an antioxidant. It is BHA. Even if you don't know what is BHA, you can still answer this question. Okay, what is BHA? It is butylated hydroxyanizole. What is it? It's butylated hydroxyanizole. Those who want the structure of this, it goes this way. You have a benzene ring, OCH3 group, you have a carbon atom, you have 3 CH3 groups, this is the butylated part. Okay, hydroxy, so you have an OH group as well. Okay, this is the structure of BHA, butylated hydroxyanizole, okay, which is an antioxidant. There is one more which is called as BHT. Fine. Okay, next question. Which of the following is not related to drug enzyme interaction? Not related to the drug and enzyme interaction. What happens is, when we are taking drugs for treatment of particular disease, first there are many ways where the microorganism can be killed, okay, or how the drug can actually have an action. So if it is acting on an enzyme, then we call it as drug enzyme interaction. Fine. Now the enzyme can be deactivated, or the drug usually acts as an inhibitor. of enzymes. Okay, it can either go and bind itself as in the allosteric site or in active site, and will not allow the substrate to come and get attached to the enzyme, so that the product will not be formed. So which they are asking us, which of the following is not related? So here, which is not related to enzyme? If you see, it is antagonist. Okay, coenzymes, enzyme inhibitor, allosteric site, they are all related to enzyme or drug enzyme interaction, if I have to be very particular. But antagonist is not related to drug enzyme interaction. Antagonist is a type of a drug which will act as blockers. Okay, they will go and block the receptors and will not allow a particular action to happen. Antagonists are type of drugs which goes and blocks the receptor and does not allow a particular biological response to happen there. Okay, the antagonists are also called as blockers. You might have heard about alpha and beta blockers. Okay, so that is antagonist, which is not related to drug enzyme interaction. So the next question is 53rd question. 0.4 grams of dihydrogen is made to react with 7.1 grams of dichlorine to form HCl, that is hydrogen chloride. The volume of hydrogen chloride formed at 273 Kelvin and 1 bar pressure is, that is STP conditions. They are asking how much volume of hydrogen chloride is formed. So we'll just write the equation first. Hydrogen plus chlorine is giving me HCl. Of course, I have to balance the equation. From this you get to know 1 mole of hydrogen with 1 mole of chlorine gives 2 moles of HCl. Because they are asking volume, I'll write this as 2 volumes of HCl. Okay, and this is in grams, that's why I'm not writing it in volume. So if I have to tell particularly in grams, 2 grams of hydrogen will react with 71 grams of chlorine to give 2 volume of HCl. But how much do we have? We have 0.4 grams, 7.1 grams, and volume I'm supposed to find out. So first we'll see whether any one of them is acting as a limiting reagent. We have to take the limiting reagent only for the relation. I can't just randomly take hydrogen and HCl and relate and get the answer. So we'll see, for 71 grams of chlorine we require 2 grams. So for 7.1 grams, I'll require 0.2 grams. So which is in excess? Hydrogen is in excess here because there are 0.4 grams which is present. So which is the limiting reagent? Chlorine is the one which is limiting reagent. So of course I have to use this particular relation to solve the problem. So the volume of HCl which is formed is 7.1 into 2 into volume is 22.7 because 1 bar pressure they have given, divided by 71. Move 1 point into 10 to the power minus 1. 71 and 71 gets cancelled. 0.2 into 22.7. 0.2 into 22.7 is nothing but 4.54 liters. It is 4.54 liters, which A is the correct answer. So I hope you have understood this particular problem. Next one. With regard to photoelectric effect, identify the correct statement among the following. If you know the entire concept of photoelectric effect, this question is a very easy question. Number of electrons ejected increases with the increase in frequency. The number of electrons ejected is related to intensity of the incident light. Okay, so here they have given frequency, so it won't increase the number. Number of ejected electrons increase with the increase in work function. No, this also is the wrong answer. This also is the wrong answer. So we have option C, number of electrons ejected increase with the increase in intensity of the incident light. This is the right one. Okay. The energy of ejected electron, they are asking, increases with the increase in intensity. No, energy does not increase with the increase in intensity. It's the number of electrons ejected will increase with the increase in intensity of the incident light. So option C is the right answer. Next, the last element of P block in sixth period, okay, is represented by the outermost electronic configuration. So here what do you need to know is P block last element means it is in the noble gases, okay, it's in the group which is last group of the P block, okay. Now they have asked in the sixth period, they are asking. See, in the sixth period, the F block elements are introduced. So you will have 4F14 in your electronic configuration, and the last noble gas configuration, you will have completely filled orbital. So if you know these two, you can directly tell the answer without even knowing which it is. Of course, you can see it is 7. 7 is not there. It is the sixth shell which is filled in the sixth period. So I cannot take 7 or 7. So option A and D is ruled out. It should be option B or C. Here, how many valence electron? 4 plus 2, 6. But in noble gases, it's octet. So it is obviously option C is the right answer. You can see 6s2, 6p6, 8 electrons are filled, and you have 4f14 also, which is from the sixth period. Okay. So that is question number 55. Next, conjugate base of NH3. So this is an acid. You have to remove an H plus ion. So it becomes NH2 minus. So option C is the correct answer. Okay. Next, a gas mixture contains 25% of helium and 75% of methane by volume at a given temperature and pressure. The percentage mass of methane in the mixture is approximately dash. So they are telling us a gas mixture contains 25% of helium, 75% of methane at same temperature and pressure by volume they have given. But we have to find out percentage of mass of methane in the same mixture. So first thing what you need to know here is volume percentage is equal to mole percentage. What are we considering? Volume percentage of a gas is equal to mole percentage of a gas. So I'll write here volume percentage of a gas is equal to mole percentage of gas. Okay. Now taking this into consideration, I'll take the ratio of the mole percentage of the two gases. So I'll take number of mole percentage helium is to methane. So here if you see mole percentage is equal to volume. Volume percentage is 25. Methane is 75. This is nothing but 1:3 ratio. Correct? Now we know the formula. Number of moles is equal to mass by molar mass or molecular mass. So I know the molecular mass, I know the number of moles, of course I can find out the mass, correct? So what is the correct way to do it? It is, I'll just take mass of helium, okay, is to mass of methane. So what is mass? Number of moles into molar mass. Number of moles of helium is 1, molecular mass of helium is 4, okay, and methane number of moles is 3 and molecular mass is 16. So I get 4 is to 48, which is nothing but 1 is to 12. So mass I have got, percentage of methane is, mass of methane how much? 12 divided by total mass 12 plus 1 13 into 100, which will be equal to 92%. So the correct answer is option B. I hope you have understood this particular question. Next one. The percentage of S character in hybridized orbital of nitrogen in NO2 plus, NO3 minus and NH4 respectively. So if you know the hybridization, you can actually tick the correct answer. NH4 plus is sp3 hybridized, so it is 25%, but NO2 plus and NO3 minus, I hope you know the shortcut for NO to find out the hybridization, that is half into valence electrons in nitrogen is 5, no monovalent, only we have charge, so minus 1, so this is 2. Okay, and this is sp hybridized, whereas here it is the same way, half into 5 plus 1, so it is 6. 3 is sp2 hybridized. So here if the percentage is 50% and here it is 33.3%. So which is the correct answer? So NO2 plus is 33%. First is NO2 plus, which is 50%, then we have 33% and then 25% respectively they have given. So you have to be very careful while choosing the answer. It's option B. Next question. Formal charge on the central atom of ozone. If you know the structure of ozone, O, double bond O, and you have O. This is plus and this is minus. Okay. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you have 1, 2. You have one more here. So this is the structure of ozone. So plus 1 charge, option C. Next one, the last question. When the same quantity of heat is absorbed, please highlighting this because it's very important. Same quantity heat is absorbed by the system of two different temperatures T1 and T2 such that T1 is greater than T2. Change in entropies are delta S1 and delta S2 respectively. Then they're asking whether the change in entropies will be equal or S2 is greater than S1, S2 is lesser than S1 or S1 is lesser than S2. So here what you need to know is the formula delta S is equal to Q by T. Correct? So Q, heat is same quantity of heat is absorbed. So delta S is inversely proportional to temperature. So which is higher temperature? T1 is greater than T2. So the answer is S2 is greater than S1. So S1 is lesser than S2. It is option D is the correct answer. So I hope you have understood all the 60 questions which I have solved today. Thank you my dear students. Stay tuned for more updates from our college Vidyashram.